Welcome, everybody, here to the Startup Morning Show. I'm Darryl McCoy. We got JJ Pruitt to my left in Man, West Virginia. And down below us, we got Bradley Dameron from the mean streets of Marbone Creek. How you guys doing this morning?
I'm doing great. What about yourself?
I'm doing fabulous. Fabulous. As today is September 10th, a beautiful day outside. So, we'll see how the rest of the day goes, but I'm sure it's going to depend on how this show goes here. So, JJ, we're going to let you start things out here with September 10th. What this day in history do you got?
The year was 1846 when American inventor Elias Howe was granted a patent for his sewing machine, which revolutionized garment manufacture in the factory industry and in the home. So that was a pretty interesting moment in time.
That's a burly fella.
Yeah, that's an interesting looking fella.
Remember the old sewing machines they used to take, and you'd have the old metal cast iron stands with sewing machine. Do you?
My mother's old one, man. She still uses that thing. It still works. It still goes.
Definitely a safety hazard.
Man, that thing's been used. I don't know how old it is, but it's been used. But yeah, the old cast iron one, the old just black with nothing modern about it.
Well, then they transformed into the old the white boxes that just sat and took a lot of space up in people's floors, and where you could take them make them mobile. You could put them on anything, on a table, in your living room, in your kitchen, So they come a long ways over the years.
Yeah,
absolutely. Have. So the year was 1955 when the TV show Gunsmoke began airing on CBS. And by the time it ended in 1975, the series was the longest running Western on American television.
I'm a big Gunsmoke fan, Bradley.
I've watched some Gunsmoke. I never was that big into it. It wasn't just the longest Western. When it went off, it was the longest running episodic television in history as well, like of all shows.
Oh wow. Okay. The well, whenever I think of old TV shows that had a long running series, I mean, obviously MASH was on for years. MASH, and then Dukes of Hazzard was another big one. I guarantee you now that in recent history that longest running TV show has probably got bypassed because it seems like since I was probably 20 years old, for the last 20 years, that ridiculousness is all that's on MTV.
What about the Days of Our Lives?
Is it still going?
I'm not sure, but I know that it had like a 50-year run or something like that.
I don't know. Like sand through the hourglass.
So
it may have been prime time. Gunsmoke is still the third longest in their category.
Yeah, and then whenever you take and look, the other when I grew up, Days of Our Lives wasn't. My mom was a big Santa Barbara fan. Yeah, that's probably a little too old for you guys.
Well, it said it's been around since 1965 up until 2022, and now it's on a different network. So yeah, I think it's still running.
Well,
yeah. Man, my mom always watched Days of Our Lives. Stefano.
Yes.
Stefano.
Yeah, Stefano.
That man made so many of our moms and grandmothers just angry every day. Just made them livid.
Well, him and Conway Twitty had them tore up. So JJ, go ahead. What's your next?
I got one more. The year was 1993 when another TV series, The X-Files, starring David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, debuted on Fox, and it developed a huge cult following.
I'll be as honest as I can. I never watched that show, and I hated when it come on.
Mulder and Scully, you never liked them?
No, I never was an X-Files guy.
I used to love watching that show.
Now, I tell you what I was, and you guys may not remember, is Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a big Quantum Leap fan. Yeah. But as we move on, let's see. Also on this day in history, in 1954, attempting to handle the New York Giants pitcher Hoyt Willems, knuckleball catcher Ray Cat set major league record with 4 passed balls. Also, public schools, 1956, integrated in Louisville on this day in history. Adobe Bakila in 1960 won Africa's first gold medal on this day.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So let's see what else we got here. Interesting. Mickey Mantle becomes 7th to hit home run number 400 in 1961. And JJ, Rod Stewart, Good Morning Little Schoolgirl come out. Album come out on this day, and that was 1964. And I did not know Rod Stewart was. I mean, I knew he was old, but 1964, I didn't know he was still at his prime.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, the Muhammad Ali, huh?
Rod Stewart's been around for a minute, man.
Oh yeah, I still like him. The Ali TKO's Maldenberger on this day in 1966. And let's see if we got anything else. interesting this day in history here. 1972, an American double in the inaugural Olympic archery competition in Munich. John Williams wins the men's individual gold medal, and Doran Wilbur takes home the women's gold medal in archery. So U.S. in the inaugural archery competition, both took home gold. So little tidbit for you guys there. Let me make sure. Let's see. If there's anything else here on this day in history. Eric Dickerson, Indianapolis running back Eric Dickerson rushes for 106 yards against San Francisco to become the fastest player to top the 10,000 yard plateau in his 91st career game. Now, do you remember Eric Dickerson, Bradley?
Yes, I do. Played for the Rams and Colts, and honestly, one of the best running backs to ever play, and not enough people talk about him anymore.
I agree.
Doesn't he still have the single season rushing record?
He did. Barry Sanders broke it.
Are you sure he broke it?
Yeah, Barry Sanders. I'm pretty sure Barry Sanders.
I don't think he did, because I remember a couple of years ago, Adrian Peterson was trying to, break it, and he ended up coming up a few yards short. Yeah, 2,105 yards set by Eric Dickerson in 1984.
Yeah, you're right. It still is. I guess I remember Barry Sanders went over 2,000, so I guess I thought he broke the record. But yeah, to this day, we've got. Let's see.
Well, Barry Sanders, he holds the single, I think, for the college, 2,628 yards is what it says.
Yeah, because Adrian Peterson's mark was the second highest. He missed Dickerson by 8 yards.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that. And that there was, if I'm not mistaken, his coach took him out. There was some controversy there during that game. I remember watching the game, and I think his coach took him out, and he had I forgot how the end of the game went, but he there was I'm pretty sure 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and the coach stopped running him.
I would be so mad.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, he was livid. I remember whenever it happened. So. In 1991, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Rock band Nirvana releases their single Smells Like Teen Spirit, often dubbed the anthem of Generation X.
Definitely a game changer. It knocked Michael Jackson off the Billboard charts, off the top of them.
Yep. Supreme Court member Clarence Thomas, U.S. Supreme Court, was nominated and he began his task in the Supreme Court in 1991. Let's see.
Still there to this day.
Yep. Let's see here. If we got anything else before we move on here. Cleveland's Major League Sports franchise, the NFL Browns, and Major League Baseball Indians play simultaneously regular season games in Cleveland for the only time both win. Browns 22-6 over Tampa, Indians 5-3 for Orioles. Wow. I thought that was the first time ever. 1997, Mark McGwire joins Babe Ruth as the only players to hit 50 home runs in 2 consecutive years. 1999, Pedro Martinez pitches a near-perfect game against the New York Yankees with only a solo home run by Chili Davis.
You mentioned McGwire there a second ago. I know we look back on that era with the whole steroid use in baseball, but as a fan during that time, it was an exciting era, man.
That was. Listen, I'm not here to advocate for illegal drug use, but listen, at the end of the day, bring back steroids in baseball.
Yeah, could you imagine if they have like a juice league?
Yeah.
Just have Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, and whoever else, did it. Just,
Jose
you watch it.
Canseco.
Yeah, Jose
There you go.
Canseco.
Yeah.
You ever watch him swing a bat? Like, it looks like he's
Rafael
like,
Palmeiro.
Rafael
Yeah.
Palmeiro, who was like he was dedicated to cleaning up the game, and they popped him.
It was funny because he all of a sudden couldn't speak English.
that was Sammy Sosa.
No, Rafael Palmeiro done the same thing. If I'm not
Did
mistaken.
he? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, they but it ended up and then the one that I never was a big fan of anyways, because he just seemed like a snobby prick, I guess, is Kurt Schilling.
Yeah,
he
the bloody sock man.
Yeah, I never was a big fan of his, but I mean, and then he denied it to the end.
I thought that was Roger Clemens.
Now I think Schilling. Now Clemens did too, but if I'm not mistaken, Schilling. Let's check. I'm pretty sure Kurt Schilling.
I didn't like
either one of them.
Yeah, I kept thinking Kurt Schilling was the one that was upset at everybody else for doing that.
Yeah, I don't remember Schilling getting popped for it in any way.
It might have been Clemens. We'll see here.
Because Schilling was always a bit of a jerk, but he
never was that was he wasn't. Clemens was. It was Schilling that was blasting Clemens for his use, it says.
Right.
So but I never did like Schilling. I'm a Yankees guy, and I wasn't a big Clemens fan either.
I tell you though, man, my favorite pitcher of that era still was Randy Johnson.
The big
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I just thought that because he and Schilling were teammates there for a while, and that was a nasty duo to have coming at you.
It was, but I don't think anybody's bullpen will ever beat the Braves bullpen. The with Maddox, Moats, Glavine, them three right there was three deadly ones.
Yeah,
I think I seen somewhere where this was when I was younger, but didn't they make the playoffs for like 18 consecutive seasons or something like that?
I
Braves, don't know. I could see it though.
I don't know if they made it that many, but they made it there a lot. I mean, like it was there for a while. They did get that one World Series a while back. They got another one more recently, but during that stretch, and because they were almost known as almost like like the Buffalo Bills of baseball. They couldn't get that World Series title, and then they finally got one. And
guys, so September 10th, birthdays. JJ, what you got?
We got Big Daddy Kane.
What's up, Kane?
Yeah, we got Bill O'Reilly. We've got Arnold Palmer. We've got Roger Maris. And lastly, we've got somebody that Bradley just mentioned, the big unit, Randy Johnson.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. There you go. Happy birthday, Randy Johnson.
Topical, baby.
Yeah, very, very good list today.
So we got a pretty impressive Facebook birthday list too.
Oh wow!
Lawyer Josh Farrell in Williamson. Happy birthday, Josh Farrell. Ethan Cogrove, former big man for the Tug Valley Panthers. So happy birthday, Ethan. Now a U-Pike Bear forward. Paul Miller, Coach Paul Miller. Happy birthday. Also the David Hatfield. Happy birthday, David Hatfield. He's the Alice Lloyd AD. Then go up. Colton Reisner, McGoffin County star middle school player. Colton Reisner, he's the kid, if you guys remember, that made the bracelets a few years back when we had that mass shooting in Allen and sat on the back of his dad's truck to sell them so he could raise money for the police officers' families that passed away. So happy birthday to him. And last but not least, Mode former high school assistant coach from Mate One, West Virginia, Randy Casey.
Oh,
So,
Coach
Yeah,
Casey.
Randy.
yeah, so happy birthday, Coach Casey. So that rounds out our birthdays. Guys, before we go to break here real quick and come back and get into our stuff, have you seen the new challenge going out, the milk challenge?
The what?
The milk challenge.
There used to be a milk challenge when I was younger. I'm wondering if it's the same one making a comeback.
I just hope it's better than the Tide Pod challenge.
It might be, if you remember. Oh, happy birthday, Phil Collins of Phelps. Whitey Little says, guys, if you don't know Phil is a legend. If you go over at Hornets, I guarantee you'll run into him. He's an assistant coach on the Phelps staff. He is one of our biggest fans here at D&D. Phil Collins, huge supporter of the Phelps Hornets. Happy birthday, Phil. Hope you have a great day.
Absolutely.
So Carl Whitey Little's tuning in. I'm hoping that we hear some word on Brody Little's eligibility today. So hopefully we get some good news on that side of things. But as guys, as we sit here and look, the milk challenge, it's a challenge. I remember, I don't guess it was really a challenge whenever back probably 15 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember the two kids that went in Walmart and got the gallons of milk and poured it. They went in butt naked, poured it on themselves, and ran out of Walmart. Now, yeah, the kids was from Belfry. I'm not going to mention their names, but they ended up getting in some big trouble for it.
I can imagine, I can imagine that they would.
They did. They got in some big trouble. But so now I guess there's a challenge on TikTok where kids, and I don't know if it necessarily has to do with Walmart or if it's even tied to that or what, but the video I seen yesterday is we had 3 athletes, poured a gallon of milk over them. And, my thing is, where are these kids getting these money to waste milk like that? Do you know how much a gallon of milk is these days?
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, man, I need that for my cereal. I don't
on
the floor.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the video though. It's neat to see kids take part in good-hearted fun like that though.
Mm-hmm. Not my milk challenge from my youth, no.
So you're not going to do it?
And I'm not doing my old milk challenge either. Listen, you ever tried to chug a gallon of milk? It's not good. It's not good. We'll just leave it at that.
Now, I could probably, I don't know about chug a gallon, but there was times in my life where I went through a phase where I was a big milk fan, and I could sit there and drink like them big gulp cups that you get at Happy Mart. I could chug one of them with no problem.
I'm just telling you. I thought when I heard that challenge when I was young, we didn't have the social media stuff, and I was in college. And let's just say it did not turn out well. Don't do it, people. Now I'm going to start a new challenge in the area. We're going to have someone who's going to try that at home. Listen, if you do, just video it. But I advise you not to try it. But if you do, let's get it on video at least. Make it funny.
Guys, when we come back, we're going to get into some mountain sports. You guys don't want to miss this. Come right back and join us as we will give you also the Double Quick Player of the Week and the Mingy Beef Jerky Primetime Performers. Make sure you come back and join us. Award-winning tire shop that focuses on customer service that's family-owned and family-operated. Stop by and see our friends Jeremy and Chasta at Punk's Tires. If you have a hectic work schedule and you're looking for a non-stressful, convenient way to buy tires, take advantage of Punk's Tires Appointment Saturdays. If they don't have the tire you're looking for, they guarantee it to have it the next day. Punk's Tires can take care of all your needs in tires, wheels, wheel alignments, brakes, rotors, minor mechanic work, and more. They'll treat you like family from the second you walk through the door. Come see us in Virgie, Kentucky, or give us a call at 606-639-TIRE. That's 606-639-TIRE.
In America, what does that mean? It means jobs. It means craftsmanship. And when it comes to Vaughn Bassett furniture, it means value. And Kemper recognizes that. That's why they've dedicated an entire gallery to Vaughn Bassett. Made in America. See the quality. And now, see the price. Come see your favorite Kemper store in Hazard, London, or Somerset.
Wear a lot of hats. There are coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
All right, guys, we are back here on the Startup Morning Show as we got JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy, and Bradley Dameron here as always as we get started. Guys, real quick, we got some info that we need to get sent out to people. On January 25th, 2025, the Kentucky Basketball Hall of Fame will be honoring 50 years of women's basketball in Floyd County. Journalism class at Floyd Central is currently working on talking to the Trailblazers, to the very first teams, 1974 to 75, from McDowell, Wheelwright, and Allen Central. They are working on a project to get some stories from these ladies and coaches. If you know any of these ladies, please tag them, or please have them reach out to Sonia Sloan from the Floyd County journalism class. That way that we can get everything involved there. That's going to be a really neat thing, right there. So I hope everybody, if you know anybody from the McDowell Daredevils, and that was one of the neatest logos ever back in the day, Bradley. I don't know if you ever remember it, but the McDowell Daredevils.
I never saw that logo. I'll be honest with you, but that's a great name. We need more fun names. I think most times now, we get consolidated schools, and it's
it's Wildcats, Panthers.
You get some animal name usually. I mean, there's some exceptions. Like Mingo Central, I think Miners is a pretty good one.
Yeah,
but I like some of those old original nicknames.
Remember the Martin Purple Flash? Was always one of the best ones that I remember from around here. Luckily we got the Hillbillies. I hope Tulsa, I hope the Rebels get to stay forever. I like the Rebels. It's good to see them odd ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you remember the Sharples Stags.
No.
Yeah, the community of Sharples over in Logan County.
Where's Sharple?
Sharples was in Logan County.
Okay. So
small
guys,
school. They just kind of closed it down.
The 2A volleyball tournament is going on right now in the mountains. As last night we had a couple of the games conclude, and it was moving on to the semifinals. We have Lawrence County versus Letcher Central tonight. That's the semifinals. And then on the other side of the bracket, you got Pike Central versus Floyd Central, as Floyd Central upset Johnson Central in one of the biggest upsets of the year so far in volleyball. So hats off to the Lady Jags for taking care of business.
Absolutely.
Great job by the Lady Jags.
I also want to give a big shout out here, guys, to Jerry Lynn Hatfield. She achieved her 1,000th career dig and received recognition just after her 1,000th dig during the first round victory over Johnson Central. So she done it on a big stage too. Little information about Jerry Lynn Hatfield is she's a Hatfield, but her mom's a McCoy, so she's a Hatfield and a McCoy.
And
she's a different one.
That's got to be tough whenever you sit back and think about history. Which side are you on?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, who you taking? You know, are you arming up for the McCoys or the Hatfields? So, guys, that's going to put us moving on here as we got football Friday nights. And by the way, before we move on to that, definitely want to give the volleyball girls their due diligence here. So Ashland defeated East Carter 3 sets to none. Then we had Betsy Lane defeated Lawrence County 3 sets to 2 last night. And there was one more in here. Hazard defeats Owsley County 3-0. So there's and that's something that we need to take. Shelby Valley also defeated Prestonsburg 3 sets to 0. And then West Carter defeated Bath County 3-0. So that's something that we need to put an emphasis on more on this show, guys. We need to make sure that we give volleyball their due diligence.
Absolutely.
You know, because it's one of the fastest growing sports in the mountains. Yeah, and I credit volleyball with the downtick of basketball. You know, I think the upswing of volleyball is the reason that basketball took a downswing. Now, basketball's, coming back, especially with the popularity of Caitlin Clark. But, all your best, basketball players was, a lot of them quit playing basketball to play volleyball, and, a lot of that come here, especially in our state, over here in Kentucky, when Kentucky won the national championship. And now with Caitlin Clark, you're starting to see, reverse back the other way a little bit. But, I wish, I wish that these girls would play both sports. But normally, a lot of these volleyball players focus, we get a lot of girls basketball players playing volleyball, but, a lot of them focus just on volleyball too.
That's the thing, Darryl. Volleyball, like you said, has been a fastly growing sport, and you see more and more girls playing it. Just to give you all an idea, back when I was in school, I am pretty sure that my school didn't have a volleyball team.
Okay.
And so, when
did you graduate?
96.
All right. I graduated in 2000, and we started volleyball my senior year at Belfry, I think.
Yeah.
I remember Katie Beck was the big star on the team back then. And but JJ, let's test JJ's knowledge. JJ, do you know who can you name us the 5 volleyball programs that are perennial, the best volleyball programs in our area in the mountains?
Let's see. Would not Central be one?
They normally got a very solid. I'll give you that one.
Okay.
You just give me 5 good ones.
What about Pike Central? No. Shelby Valley.
Recent history, they've been good. I'll let you have that one.
Floyd Central.
Yeah, Floyd Central has got a very good volleyball program.
Does Martin County have a decent one? Let's see. I know Belfry's I was gonna say they're in decline.
I'll give you a hint on one, JJ. You may have heard it somewhere in passing. A couple years ago, one of them won the All-A's state championship.
Was it Pikeville?
But they are a good one, though.
They are a good one. It was not, but yeah, they're a good one.
What about East Ridge?
Man.
All
right. I'll go ahead and tell you. Ashland, Johnson Central. Johnson Central just recently, though, is good. But Ashland, Paintsville's who Bradley was alluding to. Led by Don Kenner, one of the best volleyball coaches, probably the best volleyball coach in the mountains, then are known as the best. And then Pikeville's got a good one. Knott Central's got a good one. Floyd Central, and somebody in the comment section, if I'm missing some, let me know here. But we're just talking about perennial. Every year. Got good teams, good solid teams. Letcher Central normally has a really good program over there. And trying to think if there's anybody else that I can think of. But, the other teams, the ones that you mentioned, JJ, it's not that, they're perennial bad. It's just they're ones that, every 3-4 years I have a good team.
Mm-hmm.
But those are your powers, just so to help you cover mountain volleyball, JJ.
Okay. Yeah,
so guys,
and Matt Maynard in the comments section mentioned Belfry used to dominate volleyball, and I'm right there with them. When we were in school, it seemed like they were going to the state tournament every single year.
Yeah, they did back in y'all's day. The Belfry was really good. But they took a downturn there for quite a few years. Which in recent history, they did have a really good player there, which was Clara McNamee. Was a stud volleyball player there. Graduated last season. But Jason Blair says, "What's up, guys? We're only 26 on day 26 of the AT&T strike. Weighing in from the front lines of the AT&T picket line there, Jason Blair. Jason, is there any movement, or does it look like there's any end in sight? Let us know. Guys, here we go. Double quick player of the week. Tyson Salmons from Greenup County. He was 10 for 17, 241 yards, 4 touchdowns through 2 picks. He also carried the ball 10 times for 82 yards and a touchdown, and led the team in tackles with 13 tackles in Greenup County's 37-26 win over Portsmouth, which took 2 days to complete. So hats off to Tyson Salmons, guys.
Yeah, big time game. It's tough whenever you start a game and have to gear down and then gear back up the next day and finish it. So that's impressive as well.
It is very impressive as you sit there, Tyson Salmons, and Jason Blair. Make sure you let us know if you got any of your AT&T reps that would like to come on the show and tell us what you guys are advocating for and what you want to try to get done. You're head of your union or something. Tell them reach out to us and we'll bring him on. So as we move on here, guys, Mingy Beef Jerky. Primetime performers. Memphis Blankenship. He carried the rock 33 times for 173 yards and 5 touchdowns as Hazard improved to 3-0 with their 58-34 victory over Paris. Landry Collette. Last week he got 10 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Last week he had 5 touchdowns with his legs. Well, he balanced it out with 5 with his arm tonight, or on Friday night, where he was 17 for 21, 295 yards, and 5 touchdowns in Leslie County's 45-20 victory over McGoffin County. Hunter Hilton, the only defensive player so far this season that has won that has been named a primetime performer. Hunter Hilton had 21 tackles and 1 sack in Johnson Central's 48-41 victory. Now, the word that we got on Friday night is he had 26 tackles. Officially, they put 21, but I think that he might have had 21 solo. and 26 combined. I don't know. We're still trying to iron that out. Then Devin Maynard for Martin County, again, has another impressive performance. 29 carries, 254 yards, 5 touchdowns. And on defense, he picked off a pass and had 5 tackles on defense. So as you sit here and look, 2 of them guys was on our primetime performers last week. Let's see how much attention JJ has been paying. What 2 was on our primetime performers last week, JJ?
I'm going to say Hunter Hilton. Devin Maynard.
Bradley, that tells you how much JJ listens. Did I not just sit there and say that Hunter Hilton was our first defensive primetime performer?
I'm going to say, I know Devin Maynard had to be on there last week.
Yeah, he was one.
That's a bad 5 touchdowns. That is insane.
Now, who's the other one?
I'm going to say Landry Collette.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a bad boy.
I mean, Bradley, what are we going to do with him?
Hey.
You know,
is he paying attention to what we're talking about on the show?
I mean, it's early, and and I don't know if JJ's a coffee drinker, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't have my Mountain Dew this morning.
More a Mountain Dew drinker.
Yeah,
like a true man of the mountains. Wake up, get your Mountain Dew, and go.
There you go.
I'll give you the pass on that one, JJ. But I was sitting there when he said, I was like, I know he's gonna say Hunter Hilton, and he said it, and I was like, I literally just said he's the first.
I didn't want to let you down.
Yeah,
got to bring a little bit of comedy to the show.
Yeah, so guys, as we're going to sit here, we'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got a lot of topics to talk about. You want to join us? We also got September 10th. You know what that is? That's the big debate tonight between Trump and Kamala Harris. So make sure you guys tune in for that. We'll be right back to talk about it here on the Startup Morning Show.
Agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Central America, head to Sal's Steakhouse. Sizzle your senses with mouthwatering steaks, juicy burgers, savory chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Sal's Steakhouse, where your taste buds will thank you. Unleash the flavor at Sal's. Taste tradition, taste the difference.
Ready to rev your engines and hit the trails on October 10th through the 13th at the 23rd National Trail Fest in Gilbert, West Virginia. With miles of award-winning trails, sanctioned drag racing, live music, and thrilling poker runs, there's nonstop excitement for everyone. Indulge in mouth-watering food and discover unique finds from our vendors. Located in scenic southern West Virginia, it's the perfect escape from it all.
We're back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Bradley Dameron, and Darryl McCoy here, guys. This segment is sponsored by Derek Bowling at Kentucky Farm Bureau. If you're trying to get insurance in the Hazard, Perry County area, make sure that you call Derek Bowling for all your insurance needs, whether it's fire, home, automobile, it doesn't matter. They'll make sure they get you the great rate that you're looking for. Call today for a free quote. Derek Bowling, Kentucky Farm Bureau. So, guys, as we sit here and moving on, I'm really getting ticked off continuing to go through South Williamson, guys. Every time I see them cones, I get madder and madder and madder whenever I go through there every single day for the last 2 months, and I've not seen one inkling of anybody working on that road. What's going on, guys?
That's a really good question, because it seems like every time that I'm coming to the studio, I see cones everywhere, but I don't see anybody working.
But they're doing work though. You're seeing machinery. You're seeing, half the road cut up. And they work at nighttime on the 4-lane a lot there. So I get the Logan 4-lane, but in South Williamson there is nothing going on. And I'd like to know what's going on there. And I just don't know why you're blocking 2 lanes of traffic, and you're causing log jams, and you're causing, wrecks. I've seen a couple wrecks in that portion. I mean, it's just ridiculous right now with the cones. Somebody, listen, local government, I don't know who's over that, but somebody's got to do better there. I've been told, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard that they was going to put, them flappy things in the middle of the lanes. That little sticks that flap. You know what I'm talking about, Bradley?
Yeah.
I heard that right there, A-flax, that they're going to put them all the way up in the middle till you turn off to Williamson right there at CVS. And if you want to turn right and go into Williamson, or you want to turn to one of the businesses there, that you're going to have to get over before you get to A-flax there. That's a horrible idea. Horrible.
Yeah,
it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, and the other thing that it's going to stop, and they said, like, if you pull out a fast lane and you're wanting to go to Belfry, you can't cross because you'll have them flappy things there. You're going to have to make a right and go all the way up and make a U-turn.
That's insane.
It's going to hurt them businesses.
You know what that is, Darryl? That's someone with too much time on their hands.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Stupid ideas. I just say it. Government sometimes makes the dumbest decisions that I've ever seen. And when it comes to roads and stuff, I don't know. That is dumb. If you're listening right now and you came up with that, that's dumb.
That's ignorant, and not only that, you're going to hurt local businesses there, or all them businesses going along right there in the Big Lots Plaza, Dairy Queen. You're going to kill them businesses, because I know myself. Like, if I'm going to Belfry, I'm not going to go down, make a U-turn, get in them cones, and then go over. I'm not doing it, and, then I'm not going to want to have to come out of the parking lot, make a right, go all the way up, make a U-turn, so, I whoever made that is, listen, whenever you see them, go up behind them and slap them on the back of the head. It's like that little idiot on the bus. You just, but as we move on, debate tonight, Trump, Harris, JJ, today's debate. Have you heard anything coming out of the campaigns? What can we expect in tonight's debate?
Well, I've been reading a couple of articles, doing a little bit of research, and I found one that mentions Vice President Kamala Harris said in an interview that aired on Monday that she expects former President Donald Trump to lie during the ABC News presidential debate on Tuesday, which is funny to me because, of course, politicians are going to pivot and not fully tell the truth whenever they're debating. So, she's telling us something that we already know, and that goes both ways. But meanwhile, the Trump campaign and surrogates continued to insinuate on Monday that the former president's strategy of the debates will be to tie Harris to what they say are her policy failures and disasters as a leader of the Biden-Harris administration. And Darryl, I think this is exactly what's wrong with, the way that things are today. Like, I keep going back to 2012 with the presidential debate between, I think it was Obama and Mitt Romney. And whenever you would ask them a question about a specific issue, instead of talking about the failures of the other opponents, they would actually talk about what they would talk about the problem and what they're going to possibly do to try to resolve it. And I think that tonight, what you can expect to see is two people just talking about each other's failures instead of talking about the real issues, which is what we want to know that they're going to do about the problems that we have today.
Yeah, I'm excited for tonight's debate. Like you just said, I don't expect much out of it, but I think it's going to be entertainment.
Yeah, I expect some entertainment, but I don't expect to learn anything.
I think they just need to get a wrestling referee, put it in there.
Yeah,
get Earl Hebner or somebody.
JJ, was you ever on a debate team or anything? Would you consider yourself a good debater?
It depends on the topic. I mean, if it's something that I know what I'm talking about, I think that I can do a pretty good debate. But if it's on something that I'm not aware of, then I'm just going to make myself look like an idiot.
But on a good topic, say poker, would you consider yourself a good debater?
Mm-hmm.
Would you call yourself a master?
I wouldn't call myself a master because I don't have the accolades to prove that, but I think that I have a pretty wealth of knowledge based on my experience from all the times that I've played and all the trips that I've taken.
I think Bradley knows where I was going there.
Yeah, I did. I saw it coming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. See.
Remember, Darryl, this is a family show.
Yeah. You're just going to ask me if I was
I'm going to tell you to go down the road to the Dollar General and get that bar of soap.
Guys, I'm sorry. I got to grow up.
Ooh, such a child, I'm telling you.
But anyway, America, as we sit here, yesterday I was listening to Matt Jones on KSR, and he was talking about, the I-75 shooter, and JJ, first of all, fill us in on the I-75 situation, on what they found out about the shooter or anything they know.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I've got a lot of articles here that I keep on standby. So the man suspected of opening fire on a highway in Kentucky sent a text message vowing to kill a lot of people less than 30 minutes before he shot and wounded 5 people on Interstate 75. Authorities said in an arrest warrant. So, from what I'm getting, this is premeditated.
Yeah, definitely premeditated. And, as far as I know, yesterday, a lot of schools around the area got canceled. And, there was, I don't know if it's true, but, we heard that there was some shootings maybe in Knott County. And then, I know Mingo County ended up canceling as well. And Belfry don't have school. High school don't have school today because of the funeral of the firefighter that died in line of duty. But this, Matt Jones. For you guys that don't know Matt, I consider Matt a friend, a mentor. I wouldn't be where we're at today. None of us would be here if it wasn't for Matt Jones. That's where I got my start, and but. Matt, for you guys that don't know Matt's he's a Democrat, but he weighs a little bit on the liberal side of things, and he brought up that he said that America is too focused on guns. Whenever you talk about guns, when you go to other countries like Britain, or go to the UK and stuff, they're not allowed to have guns, and, even the cops, a lot of the cops and stuff has tasers, and other ways to, take down suspects. If you watch some of them, like if they got a robber or something, that they'll have wooden sticks that, you'll see sometimes them swinging them wooden sticks, and, clubs is, what they call them, but but whenever you look, myself, I believe in, is it the Second Amendment, the gun? Second Amendment. I believe in the Second Amendment wholeheartedly. I think you have the right to bear arms, and at the end of the day, I think the reason that guns are important is because when you see these other countries, go and the governments, or you see the government take over certain countries, well, here, you're going to get a fight on your hands if something like that happens. So I think it's important to allow to have guns, in a million different ways, to protect yourself. Now it does bring issues, but as you see in other countries, they don't have guns, but guess what? They still got bombings, they still got stuff like that, and to cut down on that, on bombings and stuff, I mean, it is nice to have somebody that could actually stop that bombing, if they seen something going on. Myself, I believe in the Second Amendment, but I don't think I think a lot of times, like, I don't think there's any reason for Americans to have like automatic weapons, or stuff like that. I think.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't think you should have that. American civilians should have more firepower than what the police has got. I'll say that.
I think it's one of the things, Darryl, is I believe in the Second Amendment. I don't believe that every American, though, is mentally stable enough to have a gun. I do think there needs to be, like, if anyone shows like signs of, I think that there needs to be some type of regulation there, because
more vetting process.
More of a vetting process. I mean, listen, I'm a gun owner. I've got to tell you right now, pretty easy to get a gun in the U.S. At least in West Virginia, it was pretty easy to get one, and I'm not going to. I mean, I'm bought legally. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's one of those things. Like, it's easy. But if you see that someone has a history of violence or some severe mental illness, and I'm not just talking about depression, I'm talking about, there are just some people I think who still should not have guns, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was watching a video about a week ago. It was an old Obama clip where he was like talking to a room of people. And one of the questions that they were asking him was about, why are you trying to take away our guns? And, he immediately said, we're not trying to do that. But he also brought up the analogy of, like, after years of research, like with the automobile, we discovered that, wearing a seatbelt is, it makes it a lot safer for you to, whenever you get in a car accident. And he talked about how you have to have a driver's license to be able to, operate a vehicle. And then he brought up, there was an individual who was on a no-fly list, but still had the rights to purchase a firearm because of the Second Amendment. So it's like, I mean, in that situation, it's like, what, like, maybe have a test that you have to pass in order to be able to prove that you're able to do it. I mean, are there tests out there that you have to take before you purchase a gun, or Bradley, or you guys would know?
No, you just have to. You just like seriously, JJ. You go in, you type in some information. They do the background check. Like, I wait around a little bit. I mean, when I mean a little bit, I mean I killed maybe a half hour, and then half hour later, okay, here's your gun.
I mean,
and when you see these school shootings and stuff, a lot of this stuff is on, like, one thing is, I think especially former military members, a lot of them has PTSD. I think, need to do a deeper vetting process in that. I think that you also, when you talk about these shootings, a lot of them are the same type of people, I mean, use your eye test. At the end of the day, I know you're not supposed to profile, but, I mean, there's and the thing is these gun stores, they're not going to vet and use like their common sense, because they want to get that sale. You know, so you can't leave it up to them. You know, although they may know selling it to this person is wrong, and you know, I could see this person possibly going off one day, but you know, they're going to get that sale, and at the end of the day, they can't buck against the system. So you know, I mean, if they did, so they're stuck. You know, it's catch-22 there, and I don't know what the answer is, but
I have three. I got three possible. Do a background check to make sure that they don't have a certain kind of criminal background. Make them take some sort of test to make sure that they're actually, you know, able to effectively use a firearm the same way you have to make them take a test to operate a vehicle in that situation. Then, you know, lastly, I would say make the punishments a little more harsh. Like whatever the current laws are, like whatever the penalties are for what, you know, doing stuff with a gun, like make the punishments a little bit harsher.
I don't think there's really though, JJ. I mean, like it's as harsh as it gets, you know. I mean, if you go shoot somebody in certain states, you got death penalty. If not, you're probably serving life in prison.
I mean, I don't know, like possessing a firearm, like I don't know what the laws are, like maybe make the.
I mean, I can walk outside with my gun on my hip and be okay here.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't have to have a permit or nothing, man. I can walk out. I can go to the store. Sometimes store policies are different where they won't allow it, and they're allowed to do that because it's their private property.
Yeah. Well, this is a perfect example right here. Breaking news. Prayers for Birch students and teachers. Right now, another threat was called in at Birch. All the babies are still on the bus. Said one of them is well, I tell you what, you finish this, and I'm going to take this call real quick because we might have some more breaking news.
Okay.
And that's really sad to hear. I actually want to reach out to a buddy of mine who's over there at Birch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
but I'm just saying, man, like that's the thing. Like, you know, I believe that we have rights to bear arms, but I don't believe that everyone has earned those rights. So, you know what I'm saying?
And the last thing that I would want is for individuals that are watching this show to think that, you know, I'm anti or anything. It's just like, no, I mean, there are some common sense things you can do. I mean, I'm all for making somebody take a test to prove that, you know, whether it's a written test or going out and doing a field test or something like that, just to show like, okay, this person that I'm allowing to purchase this item, you know, they actually know how to use it. You know, I mean, I got another interesting stat for you, Bradley. Did you know that people who possess a medical cannabis card aren't allowed to possess a firearm?
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's like, even like, for example, like if somebody out there wants to resort to that versus anxiety medication, you know, as soon as they get that card, they revoke their rights to possess a firearm until their card expires.
That's pretty wild.
So it's like, do you choose, you know, your medication, or do you choose being able to protect yourself? You know.
Well, I mean that's a wild stat. I will say that, like, West Virginia especially, and I think Kentucky's kind of similar, but people in Kentucky can correct me if I'm wrong. West Virginia is very, we'll just say, lenient with gun policies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, you know, unless a store has a specific policy. I mean, like, I've gone grocery shopping next to a dude with like a revolver on his hip.
Yeah, you see people walk into like fast food restaurants all the time, and I'm thinking, like, are you? I mean, I get it because you just never know what could happen, but it's like, I couldn't imagine being that concerned enough to where I have to keep that on my hip at all times because I'm afraid something's going to pop off.
Well, it's a great example though. Whenever you take and look at, you know, right now what's going on at Bircho. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you know, it's good that I guess the good thing is at first I wasn't for it. I'll be 100% honest. I wasn't for school resource officers. I did not like the fact of putting officers in schools. I just, I wasn't for it. I thought that, it was a tough situation, but now, I'm glad that we got officers in schools. Somebody that we do know there's a firearm where if something did break off, that, it can be took care of because if somebody can defend the kids there, and, the other thing is, the schools have done a great job. They make it. Have you guys ever tried getting in schools? I go there, every day and do signings. They make it
Jenkins
hard.
Yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard as heck. Well, I mean, normally, go to one like Letcher Central and see how hard it is to get in. I mean, most of these schools make you show your license before you even enter the building now, and it's so, I mean, I think a lot of good steps have been taken. I wish America wasn't where it was at, but, at the end of the day, I still believe in the Second Amendment. And, I think that we do need to have weapons to be able to defend ourselves and against foreign and domestic, violators. And, it's just there needs to be a better vetting process. And like, Bradley said, not make it so easy to get guns, and make sure you go through, psychological tests and, stuff like that.
I mean, I think it's reasonable to do that because, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to take away guns, but at the same time, there's a point where it becomes enough. There's been so many school shootings and stuff like that in this country that it's like.
And every time one happens, the first thing the politicians want to do is say, we got to do everything we can to find a solution. We're going to do everything we can. And it's been since 1999, they've been saying that. And the only reason that one specific side is saying that is because a lot of their voters are diehard, like, Second Amendment people. So, I mean.
Well, you take and, at the end of the day, people, we got to be more vigilant too. Like, if we know that our first cousin, is somebody that's likely to do that, and they're going to get in a gun, well, you need to call and put a stop to that. I mean, like there's ways to, to stop a lot of this, but it's just we've got to find some way to, some way to reach a median. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not for anything that will take our guns away. I mean, I'm 100% behind that. I don't, I think there is people that's obsessed with it, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a right, and allow them to have it. Yeah.
Do you remember a while back when I mentioned my neighbor who had my former neighbor when I lived in Boone County who had the mental breakdown and whatnot about he said that he got a call from President Bush and told him that he had killed JFK and my neighbor had to go to jail for it. That guy.
I do remember you as you say
that. So he had a lot of mental health issues and he wasn't supposed to have guns, and turned out during the investigation that a family member his guns had been taken away because he wasn't supposed to have them because of his mental health issues.
Yeah.
And one of his family members just gave them all back to him.
Oh.
So I mean, it's stuff like that. We got to be more.
Okay, that situation right there. You want to know how to stop this stuff? You go after the family member that gave the guns back.
Exactly.
And watch and see how much people, how much more people pay attention to stuff like that. Guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Tyreek Hill situation and get your guys' thoughts. Come right back and join us here on the Startup Morning Show.
Agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau. Big on commitment.
Are now available at Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance Little Flower Dental Clinic. Same day crowns. No more temporary impressions and wearing temporary crowns. Same day crowns. Now available at Little Flower Dental Clinic. We also offer cleanings, fillings, extractions, root canals, and bridges. Call for an appointment today at 487-9505. We accept most major insurances, Medicare and Medicaid, and even a sliding fee scale. Little Flower Clinic, your medical home in the mountains.
And we are back here on the Startup Morning Show. JJ Pruitt, Bradley Dameron, and Darryl McCoy here, guys. This segment is brought to you courtesy of Freddie Lewis for Pike County Commissioner. Guys, for a better Pike County, vote Freddie Lewis. Freddie Lewis, he's a guy that, whenever you think a blue-collar, hard-working, God-fearing Republican, that's Freddie Lewis. And, his plans to make Pike County a better place sounds like the best plan I've heard in a long time. Me and JJ got to meet with him for about 3 hours and talk about his, what his plans was, what he was going to attack. And, JJ, I'll tell you, I've not heard a better idea in years.
And he's one of the most genuine individuals that I've ever met. And the only thing that he kept preaching was the future, his grandchildren, the next generation. He wants to do everything that he possibly can to try to make this area a better place. And I think he's the perfect person to do it.
I agree 100%. Now, guys, real quick, want to take and before we talk about the Tyreek Hill situation, let me make sure I put the right picture up here. Yes. Prayers go out to Noah Kilburn. As you see, Noah, he is a Division I wideout, transferred from Perry Central to Leslie County this year. Come one hair being at Mingo Central. And he is Noah Kilburn, tore his Achilles and season-ending injury. Now, the heartbreaking thing, and like I said, this kid could have been the best wide receiver in the mountains. He's that good. He's that good, and it's heartbreaking anytime you see anything like this happen to a young man. So please, keep him in your prayers, and hopefully we can all come together by prayer and help this kid get back to 100% quicker than later.
Absolutely. And, my question is, like, for somebody that's his age, what do you think you think that he can fully come back? I mean, the Achilles injury, they always say, like, we think about Kobe Bryant and some of the other players in the NBA that have sustained an injury like that. For somebody that's his age, is it a little bit easier to recover, or you think he'll be able to do
it? He can come back, and, here's the thing. If you're KCU, UPike, somebody like that, you definitely take a flyer on this kid, because at the end of the day, this is a Division I talent. Mm-hmm. So, but, I know Noah, I know the type of kid he is, and I guarantee you he's staying strong and believes everything happens for a reason. So, what it is, we don't know, but, we'll find out in the future. Guys, as we move on, tough transition here, but as we move on to the Tyreek Hill situation, I'm going to show you the video, and it'll take me a second to load the second half up, but, it's in two parts. But here, the video come out of the interrogation and start to finish the arrest of Tyreek Hill the other day.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Like what? How do you have it up? What you gotta do? Keep it down. Hey! Keep your window down. Manny. Hey! Keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me your ass, mama. Get out of the car. Give me your ass. I'm gonna break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 What part of law don't you understand? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin. When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting out.
You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little
out.
Fucking confused.
I'm getting out, bro.
Too late.
Chill,
Too late.
All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro.
We are. We will.
Good, bro.
It is good.
Hey, Drew, hey.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. You stop crying.
Bro, y'all.
Don't move.
Good. Bro, you beating on my window like you crazy.
You set him up?
Why y'all beating on my window like y'all crazy for? Damn, bro, dude beating on my window like he crazy. I ain't do nothing, twin. Damn.
Hey, don't park there. Don't park there.
Hey.
Now I will upload the second part of it here, guys. But so far, what we're seeing here is, this is it's a tough situation because I think it's one of the situations where this is a bad look on the police, and I guess what was the old TV show Chips? It's the first time I've seen that much action from a biker cop in a long time. But you could just tell the guy he was on a power trip, and you could see it. When you see the second video, you can really tell how the guy is. But I do not think that man needs to be back in the line of duty. I'm not advocating for anybody to lose their job, but he don't need to be out. Put him on desk duty or something if you're going to still let him have his job. But this was wrong what he done to Tyreek Hill.
Well, I don't think that it's right that he used that much force. But on the other end, now that I've heard the audio from Tyreek Hill, whenever he comes to the door and he knocks on his window, I've been pulled over by the cops before and I've been profiled, so I know what it's like. All of this could have been avoided if he would have just. If you're getting pulled over by a couple of cops, instead of waiting for them to bang on your, or knock on your window, have your window rolled down and, ready to ask them what the problem is, instead of saying things like, don't knock on my window like that, and then them trying to get your attention again and you just completely ignoring them. I don't think that it was right what the cops did. However, from my experience,
I agree with you there. I think a lot of this can be cut out.
Absolutely.
If you pay, I always, tell my son, when you get pulled over, it's yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You treat them with utmost respect, and hopefully, if they're the right person, they'll go on about their day, write you a ticket or, give you a pass, whatever, but stuff like that puts cops on guard. It does, especially in today's world, whenever you sit there and, listen, at the end of the day, profiling is one of the worst things that can happen, but everybody does. I don't care who you are, you profile. And, a lot of people in a situation like that be like, nice car, he's probably got guns, drugs, stuff like that in it, not realizing that he's a professional athlete. And, but, there's no reason to take and put that cop on guard and make him think that, that you would even do anything if you just roll down the window, like you said, and say, hey, how you doing today, officer? What I do wrong? And, because whenever you roll your window up like that, then he don't know what you got in that car that could hurt him. And at the end of the day, when he goes to work to when he leaves his house, his first thought is, I'm gonna make sure I come back to my family, and stuff like that. Now, whenever the thing is when the cop turned it from a bad or a situation where it could have been on Tyreek, is the way that he treated him after. Let's watch the second part of this video.
Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery in your ears when we go there. Chill, bro. Hey, Joe New, bro. Back up. Hey, call Drew. Hey, call Drew, bro. Hey, call Drew, bro. Hey, what? Hey, call Drew, bro. Just call Drew. Hey. I'm not doing nothing. What am I doing that's wrong?
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Hey, man, they got Tyreek. The cops over here beating on him, man. They over here beating on Tyreek,
Listen,
man.
big man, don't park there, man. Just get in the car.
Hey, Drew, you gotta come, man.
Just get in the car.
Straight up the side, on the side of the,
Hey, get in the car. You're parked in the middle of the street.
I'm in the car. You gotta go before you get a ticket.
Hey,
I'm
you're
not
in the car.
Who's the driver? This is my car.
All right, move.
All right, I'll take that.
You gotta move right now.
Coming, man.
Let me have your license. You're gonna have a ticket too.
I'm coming.
Let me have your license. You're gonna have a ticket. Let me have your license.
I'm leaving.
I'm not playing. Let me have your license.
Leaving. Yo, what's
Your
going
license
on?
right now.
Sir, what's going on?
Your license right now. You're not gonna give me your license?
Hey,
Get in the car and leave.
You're not gonna give me your license? I'm leaving.
Let me have your license. Your license right now.
Sir,
Hey, your license right now.
I'm leaving.
Or I'm gonna lock you up. Your license right now.
He just told me to
Your
leave.
license right now.
Sir,
You're dealing with me now.
Sir.
Your license right now.
See, that's where, the cop was obviously on a power trip, because the one cop you could tell was telling the guy to leave, and the other one, he's like, nah, you're dealing with me now. And, it was a tough situation, all around, to be in. But, at the end of the day, you do got certain rights, although, what Tyreek Hill, we see it as completely wrong. You roll down your window, you treat them with respect, but I don't know, just knowing them guys, that that was going to turn out any better, no matter how it went. Just the way that they acted, and the trip that they was on. But and why, I don't know. It's a tough situation there, and I think Tyreek Hill was within his rights, although we think it's wrong. But I think the police officer is the one that looks really bad here.
He looks really bad, but at the same time, I go back to, what I said from the beginning. You get pulled over, and if you're a minority in the United States, I've dealt with it, just roll your window down. I'm not going to smart off to somebody that I know has a pistol. Because you just never know if you're going to run into that one person that's going to, have a bad day, or just want to crash out, as the new kids want to say, and try to shoot you. And in that situation, it's like, if you know somebody's coming to your window and they knock on the window, it'd be different if it wasn't a cop, but telling a cop, don't knock on my window, that immediately says, okay, I'm not going to comply with anything that you have to say, and I'm going to make your day really rough.
Well, look at the Sonia woman, just, a few weeks ago, the Sonia woman that got shot. She did absolutely nothing wrong, standing in her, in her own home, and, a gun-happy cop ended up killing her. So,
you just got to, if you're in an area like this, that's just the way this world is. It's if you truly believe that you're about to be a victim, which he was, just document everything, try your best to kill him with kindness, and just hope that the situation gets resolved quickly, because, things like this can easily escalate. You run into a simple-minded individual with a little bit of power, and this is the type of thing that you get.
There are a few things that stuck out to me on both those videos. I mean, the first thing is Tyreek should have, at the very least, once the cop knocked on his window, he just kept his window down during the stop. That would have helped.
Yeah, he rolled it right back up,
and he did. I mean, he did tell the cop, write me a ticket, do what you gotta do. I mean, so he was ready to accept the ticket, but he should have kept the window down. However, two things happened there that really blew my mind. The cop said, get out of the car, get out of the car, we're pulling you out. And then it was 5 seconds later, he's like, no, we're pulling you out. Most people don't even have time to process, okay.
I don't think he was going to get out the car. I mean, I could be wrong, but, just with the way that he was talking, I mean, it just,
But he still didn't have time to
Yeah.
react if he was
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah,
You
you're
know?
right.
That was the thing.
100%.
And the other thing is when he pulled him down on the ground. I mean, listen, the man's handcuffed. He's not a threat at all
Yeah.
at any point. He's standing there handcuffed, and he's saying, I had knee surgery.
Yeah.
And this cop is just like, ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and I get it. Listen, at the end of the day, a lot of these cops, you hate to say it, but a lot of these cops are kids that, wasn't athletes in school and wasn't, and maybe,
They're jealous.
maybe scared of people or jealous or, whatever. And, it causes them to abuse power. That's a lot of the reason that stuff happened. When you look at cops that get in situations like this, go look at how they was brought up, and 90% of them are kids that wasn't that was bullied, that was doing wasn't and you hate to say this, but wasn't part of certain crowds, or and they like, whenever they do get that position of power, they like to take advantage of it, and push the issue, and that's what gets them in situations like this. Now, the two questions that I got from this is, first of all, when he says, just write me a ticket, do what you got to do. With all that child support, how in the world does he got money to pay tickets?
I think they said he was on kid number 12.
Yeah, and that's my thing. That would have been my first thing, is like, whenever they pulled him over, I was like, did he have a warrant for child support or something? And then the second issue is, who in the hell is Drew?
I wonder who his agent is.
Is it Drew?
I mean, because like I wonder if it's like Drew Rosenhaus, since he's such a well-known sports agent.
That's who I think it is. That's honestly that was my first thought. It was Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah.
Let me check and see who it is. I don't know. I don't know, man.
See if you can figure out who it is, JJ.
I'm looking here too.
And if you guys haven't seen, have you guys watched? Yeah,
Drew Rosenhaus is
Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus is his agent.
Yeah, Rosenhaus. Yeah.
That's who he was referring to and who he was talking about. And this is neat, because if you guys have ever watched, I highly suggest you watch it, but watch the show on Showtime or HBO that's got The Rock as the sports agent.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ballers.
Yeah, Ballers. And everything in that show, you could tell going through that right there is real life. What agents deal with, and that they have to deal with, everything going on with these athletes' lives. That right there was the perfect situation to say that was a true life show with The Rock and him. I mean, you heard him talking to his agent on the phone, and then he's like, call Drew, so, yeah.
And so, and his teammates there are pulling up there. And I mean,
and hats off to them for, stepping in there and making sure their teammate was all right.
Yeah.
But that's a sad situation. I do think that he could have been a little more cooperative in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then you don't. I mean, like, the police really escalated that.
Yeah.
And I know they're in a tough spot, but also I'm going to say this, Darryl. If you're in a city like that, I think part of your job is to know who a lot of these people are. Like,
well,
you have to know at some point that is Tyreek Hill. Someone there has to recognize that is Tyreek Hill. And he,
you are in Miami too, Bradley. So I'm sure there is some major drug dealers that's probably got Ferraris too.
There are, and I'm just saying though. But you have to be able to recognize that's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, you could recognize him, but I would say when they run the plates, there's a good chance that his car probably ain't in his name. Especially if he's got 12 baby mamas, and so he's probably got that car in a cousin's name or something. But the other thing is, whenever you take and look, I agree 100% with you. You got to know, that is Tyreek Hill. But, the situation at the end of the day, yeah, Tyreek should have done that. Shouldn't have done that. But, he should have been more cooperative at the beginning, but, at the end of the day, too, this cop, pulled him over and you could hear for a seatbelt. All that over a seatbelt.
That's way too
tells
much.
you right there. That tells you right there that the cop thought that there was drugs or guns in that car, because how many cops is going to pull over a Ferrari for no seatbelt?
Not very many, but it's like I said, in that situation, it's being self-aware of your surroundings. If I'm in his situation in that car, it's like, oh crap, I got 4 people pulling me over. What in the world could they possibly be pulling me over for? If I don't choose my words wisely, I'm probably going to go to jail. I'm probably going to get jumped. Let me go ahead and roll my window down, give them my license and registration because it's legal. Let me quietly record this conversation and try to get a video just in case they do something crazy, and just pray to God that, I get out of here safely.
Well, speaking of something crazy, guys, we're going to take our last commercial break. When we come back, I got 2 crazy stories that you guys may not believe. Come right back and join us here on the Startup Morning Show.
Of Central America, head to Sal's Steakhouse. Sizzle your senses with mouthwatering steaks, juicy burgers, savory chicken, and fall off the bone ribs. Sal's Steakhouse, where your taste buds will thank you. Unleash the flavor at Sal's. Taste tradition, taste the difference.
Bruce Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Back here on the Startup Morning Show, JJ Pruitt, Bradley Dameron, and Darryl McCoy here. Guys, want to thank you guys for starting your mornings with us every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here on the D&D Sports Network, Startup Morning Show. And guys, this segment is brought to you courtesy of Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance, Quantum Health, East Kentucky Chiropractic, and Little Flower Clinic doing their best to make sure that they take care of all your medical needs. Give the Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance a chance if you're in the Perry County area. They're the ones that's supporting your local athletes. So, guys, one of the craziest stories coming out that I heard this morning, and want to get your guys' thoughts. Breakdancer Reagan, Olympian, the Australian Olympic breakdancer, ranked number 1 breaker in the world by sports governing body. Guys, is her and her husband running this too?
Darryl, she didn't even get a point in the competition. They gave her 0 points for her performance.
0 points, and
yes.
She. What's going on here, Bradley?
I have no clue, Darryl. I think the whole world's lost their minds, and I'm not going to call myself an expert in breakdancing. However, I do know what she was doing wasn't it.
I mean,
I think you're wrong there. I think it was it. I just think it was at the very beginning stages of it.
I mean, listen, I guess I could, well, maybe not now with my foot, but I could, when I was younger, I could pull out the old kangaroo hop, I guess.
Pop locking and,
I mean, like, I could, I was more of a mosher back in the day, but
the robot.
But I mean, seriously, the kangaroo hop. Come on, man. I mean, we now have kangaroos in Logan County, so we're a little bit more of an expert on the kangaroo hop, but
Yeah, we know what you're talking about. JJ, you're over there in Logan County. You seen any kangaroos?
It's been a minute since I saw one. I mean, there was that one that was on the side of the road that escaped.
JJ, let me ask you this: if we give you 2 weeks,
okay,
do you think you can give us a breakdancing performance better than Ray Gunn?
I don't know. I mean, that one was pretty. That one was pretty. That one was pretty memorable.
But do you think in 2 weeks that you could give us a better breakdancing performance than Ray Gunn?
I don't know. I mean, she was very. I might be able to. I don't know. It'd be tough.
Okay, JJ says challenge accepted. 2 weeks.
JJ's
going to do a breakdance for us, Bradley.
JJ, all you gotta do is figure out the spin on your head move, and you'll be fine.
All I gotta do is get out there and do the Michael Jackson, spin with the moonwalk, and then grab my crotch and scream real loud and do this and be good to go. Throw the hat and be good to go.
Just lay on your side and run in circles like Curly with the Three Stooges, and
I'll get out there and do the runner man.
A little known fact. That's kind of my go-to party trick is my Michael Jackson move. So they just to give you guys a little info on my party tricks.
Gosh, I tell you, man, I don't know what's going on. I mean, listen, I'm not in tune with the world of competitive breakdancing, but no way that lady is. I mean.
No way she's number one. And like I said, the reason she even got on there is because her and her husband run the committee. And I would think her and her husband's running this committee too by the looks of her ranking. So, guys, another thing that caught my eye that I have a hard time, I guess, absorbing is Mark Stoops. Look at the last 3 years of Mark Stoops and the Joker Phillips era here. Look at this. Versus SEC opponents. Joker Phillips 4-20. Mark Stoops 6-11. SEC home wins. Joker Phillips 4-8. Mark Stoops 2-7. Versus top 25. Joker Phillips 1-12. Mark Stoops 4-6. Versus top 10. Joker Phillips and Mark Stoops both 1-4. Versus SEC rivals, 3-6, 1-6 for Mark Stoops. Game scoring 7 points or less. Mark Stoops 4 games. Joker Phillips 3 games. 25-point losses. Joker Phillips 8. Mark Stoops 4. Average recruit ranking for Joker Phillips was 45. Mark Stoops cut that in half as he has got normally a top 25 recruiting class average of 23. He had one in the 14, I think, a few years back. Joker Phillips got paid $1.7 million. Mark Stoops $8.6 million. Guys, why did we cut Mark Stoops a break and Joker Phillips got his job took for the same kind of numbers, in a lot of cases, better numbers than what Mark Stoops had?
So it looks like Mark has a better record against top 25 teams.
Yeah.
And a little bit better record against the SEC. However, versus the SEC at home, the Joker has a better record. And then versus SEC rivals, the Joker has a better record as well. So I'm guessing
it's not the Joker; it's Joker Phillips.
Yes.
This is not the Joker, JJ.
Jack Nicholson was the coach of that team.
I have a way with words. What can I say? I'm guessing it has to do. It's gotta have to do with the top 25 record. He's got a 40% record against the top 25.
And obviously, Mark Stoops is the best coach that we've seen here at Kentucky since Bear Bryant. What he done in his first, 7 years or whatever, bought him a lot of, leadway. Mark Stoops is a guy that deserves to have a statue outside the stadium, a boulevard named after him. Like, he's going to get all that. But what you don't want to do, guys, is you don't want to let this thing continue to linger. Like, Mark Stoops, Davis talks to him going to Texas A&M last year. It might would have been good if he would have went ahead and parted on good terms, because right now, it's hard to overturn when stuff starts getting like this. It's hard to overturn it back the other way. And I just don't know that this is going to end good for Kentucky or Mark Stoops. If, they don't find a way to part ways soon. If they let it go another year, and God forbid we have another year, this year we finish out really bad, things could get really ugly for Stoops, and you don't want that to tarnish all the great things that he did here.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I still think let's just let this season play out a little bit more first. But when it comes to Mark Stoops at Kentucky, the SEC's gotten tougher now too, Darryl, and it's going to continue to get tougher. The problem with that he's going to face is, I don't know how to put it. Sometimes coaches get a little bit of a stink on them after a bit, if they start losing. And it's not necessarily that they didn't become a worse coach. They're still a great coach. But you can guarantee that all these coaches in the SEC, they go into these kids' living rooms. And let's face it, he's probably not competing necessarily with Bama and Georgia.
Yeah.
He's competing more with the middle of the pack of the SEC right now. And, when they go in there, they're like, well, do you really want to go to Kentucky where they've, and they can give all these lists of things, and they can even say stuff like, that game's passing Mark Stoops by, which I don't believe is true, but it also comes down to the NIL money too. And I don't know what Kentucky's doing with that for him.
Kentucky's doing pretty good with NIL, in football. And, it's not the talent on the roster that's the issue. The issue at Kentucky right now is the coaching staff. Mark Stoops, as I mentioned yesterday, went and hired the guy that was the worst offensive line coach in the SEC last year and hired him to come to Kentucky. No surprise that our offensive line got blew up on Saturday versus South Carolina, including a situation where, it was 1-on-3 and the defensive player for South Carolina beat a triple team Kentucky, and beat him and got to the quarterback, or got in the backfield. That's a situation that's on Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops realized, and he hired him because this guy was his friend. That's the situation. At the end of the day, I'm all for loyalty, but you got other coaches on that staff that's got families that depend on you. You got to make the right decision. These players depend on you, and Kentucky, if they go and get blown out by Georgia, and then I forgot who they play the next meaningful game. I know they got Ohio in between there somewhere. And then when they come back from their bye week, they play Vanderbilt. If we lose to Vanderbilt, I promise you, it's going to get nasty.
Yeah, they got to beat Vandy. If you don't beat Vandy in the SEC, I mean, let's face it, Vandy's there to bring up the GPA of the SEC.
Yeah.
That's their role. They're not there to be a powerhouse in football. So if you lose to Vandy, you've got some issues.
I agree 100%, guys. And somebody that we may end up having on the show soon, spoke to him yesterday, is we may have Boyle County's Justin Haddix come on the show. Coach Haddix, guys, is a Mountain native from Breathitt County, ended up going to Corbin. He's at Boyle County now. And I don't know if you guys got to see or not. Let me see if I can pull it up here. The latest rankings, Boyle County ranked number 14th in the nation. That's a huge hat tip of the cap to Coach Haddix and Boyle County as they knocked off St. Edwards, Ohio, getting all the way up to 14th. Guys, did you ever think you'd see a Kentucky team, ranked this high?
I mean, usually it's Ohio teams, Texas teams, I would imagine.
Well, if it is, it's normally St. X, Trinity, teams like that. But, Boyle County, it's pretty nice to see a public school. I'll put it that way. Did you ever think you'd see a public school in Kentucky ranked this high?
What class did you say they were, Darryl?
Boyle County is 5A, I think. Ain't that right, Bradley?
5 or 6. I'd have to look it up real quick.
Pretty sure they're 5A. But that right there, I couldn't be happier, especially for it being a former Mountain guy doing that. That's big things for Coach Haddix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. But you know what, Darryl, it's earned when you play a team like that and don't just beat them, you beat them soundly.
Earned, not given. In the words of Brad Calipari.
That is earned. They are Boyle is 4A.
They're 4A, okay. So they're there with Johnson Central, and that's right, because they played in the championship a few years back. They should have known that. But guys, hats off to them. Also, condolences, guys. Condolences. James Earl Jones, acclaimed actor and voice of Darth Vader, dies at 93.
Man.
He lived a full life, guys, and you couldn't ask for any better. One of the best voices ever in entertainment.
One of the best voices, one of the best actors to ever grace this earth.
What is your favorite James Earl Jones film, Bradley, Darryl?
Mine is Field of Dreams.
Oh, man, that's a good one.
I'm going to throw a few out there. Obviously, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so the Darth Vader thing, but he wasn't really physically portraying Vader. He just gave the voice.
I'm your father.
I'm going to mention Mate One, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot he was in Mate One. Yeah, I forgot about that, and I just watched it not long ago.
Few Clothes. That was the name of his character in Mate One.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think really legitimized that movie having him in it. Because, I mean, let's face it, he's the best actor in that movie. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even think it's close. And, yeah, that's a true loss. But, yeah, Mate One. I think of him with that. I think of him in Field of Dreams.
Yeah, Coming to America was another good one.
Coming to America.
Yeah, The Lion King.
I'm gonna give a shout out to my buddy Bo Copley. He brought up a thing. I don't know if you ever saw his appearance, that one episode he was on The Big Bang Theory. I don't know if you guys ever watched that.
He played in The Sandlot too.
He was in The Sandlot.
Yeah.
But The Big Bang Theory, his comedic timing, because he did a lot of dramatic roles, but his comedic timing was just incredible.
Guys, we're going to do something here on the show that I just thought of. Have you guys ever heard of the Survivor League?
Yeah, like you win, you keep going.
Yeah. So every week you pick one team that's guaranteed to get a win.
You can't pick them again.
No, and you can't pick them again the rest of the year. So you got to be very precise on what team you're picking to win, because you got to look down the line like, okay, will they get a win? Should they lose a game later on, will you run out? So we're going to do that with our high school teams and see who lasts the longest here. Now, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to give you guys a list of the games, and I want you guys to pick the game that you think is going to win here in our area. Okay. Ashland, Bardstown, Estill County versus Bath County, Bell County versus Perry Central, Betsy Lane versus Knott Central, Phelps versus Bland County, Virginia, Johnson Central versus Breathitt County, Greenup County versus East Carter, Morgan County versus Fairview, Fleming County versus Rowan County, Letcher Central versus Hazard, Clinton County versus Jenkins, Leslie County versus Harlan, Prestonsburg versus Lewis County, Russell versus McGoffin County, Martin County versus Paintsville, Boyd County versus Mason County, Pike Central versus Powell County, Pikeville versus Raceland, Southwestern versus Belfry, West Carter versus Floyd Central, Tug Valley versus Logan, Man versus Westside, Mingo Central versus Liberty Raleigh, Tulsa versus Mount View, Scott versus Sissonville, Winfield versus Chapmanville, Spring Valley versus Jefferson.
Jesus. You want to go first, Bradley?
Tulsa over Mount View.
Tulsa over Mount View. All right. So Bradley's got Tulsa over Mount View. JJ, write these down.
Okay.
I'm going to go. Let me find it here. I'm going to go Betsy Lane over Knott Central.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that one too.
And the JJ, hurry up and pick your game, and I'll let you go.
I'm going with Belfry.
You're going with Belfry.
Yes, sir.
Who's Belfry play?
Southwestern.
Southwestern.
Okay. Well, JJ, we know you got something to do, so I will talk to you shortly, and we'll close up the show here.
All right, that'll work, my friend.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Bradley, JJ picked a horrible pick.
I didn't want to pick that one, man. I heard that one. I was like,
that's not one I would have picked.
Yeah. I didn't want to go too hard on some of them. There's a lot of close games this week. There's a lot of competitive games. Well, and I was trying to find one. I mean, listen, man.
Can I give you the Massey ratings on them?
Yeah, give
Tulsa
it to me.
is a 27.5-point favorite over Mount View. All right. Yeah. Southwestern is a 17.5-point favorite over Belfry.
Yeah.
And what I picked, what did I pick?
I don't think you picked it.
Betsy Lane.
Yeah.
Betsy Lane is a 27.5-point favorite over Knott Central.
Listen, I just know this, and I know this because I was looking at it a little bit ago. Mount View scored 6 points in their 2 games this year.
Yeah.
And they've looked pretty hapless on offense and defense. And I'm like, yeah, I think Tulsa's got that one.
Yeah.
I was trying not to use like one of my big teams up front. You know, it's like,
yeah, that absolutely. But I would not have picked that one if I was JJ.
No.
Yeah.
I heard him say that. I was like, you want to take a mulligan on that one? But yeah. But it is. But you know what? Look, if Belfry wins, Darryl, JJ would just look smarter than the rest of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't have the guts to take Belfry in that one in a survivor type league scenario.
No. So I have a feeling it'll be me, you advancing. But I say that, but you know me, it's hard for me to ever pick against my Pirates.
I know it's well, you can never count Belfry out of any game.
No,
and I almost took Mingo Central over Liberty Raleigh too. That's
yeah. Oh well, I thought about that one too. I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and use Mingo in this one, and then I was like, well, let's see how this week goes, and but Bradley, that's going to end the show today. I want to thank all of our viewers for tuning in as, Mingo Central they're a 34.5-point favorite over Liberty Raleigh.
Yeah, I would say, I think Mingo Central bounces back pretty big this week.
Yeah, I do too. I think David gets it back on track this week, but
I do too.
want to thank you guys for tuning in, guys, for another great episode of the Startup Morning Show. We will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8 a.m. here on the D&D Sports Network. For Bradley Dameron, JJ Pruitt, and Darryl McCoy. Till next time, so long and good.